What is going on?
What's up, Patrick?
How's it going?
Hello.
The regular guys on here. Laurent, how are you? Good. Thumbs up. Spencer, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Doing well, man.
We got Neil. You out of the woods with the coronavirus now? Yeah.
100%.
Excellent. All right. Let's get started with some wins. Does anybody have any wins to share this week?
I'll share some.
Excellent.
Just landed a $1,000 a month ad, Facebook ad client, $1,000 a month Google ad client, rented a site that I had just built last year for $500 a month. Guys just starting out, so was taking it easy on them and things. And then landed a website build for 4K.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Is
Yeah.
this your first money from this business model?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, I mean, different forms. I feel like it's just kind of all coming back. Like it's all coming together now, Patrick, if that makes sense. Like I've landed some website stuff previously, but it's kind of one-offs. Facebook ad stuff. That's been something that's been happening on a consistent basis. Websites, like I rented the first website that I built over a year ago here a few weeks ago, and then this was the second one. So I've built these sites that I haven't been able to. I built them right before last season, so they weren't really ranking last season. Then they came on. I didn't know how strong they were going to come on because there was no data to show. And then they just started hitting. And then I was in this panic mode of trying to get people on trials. Using your method that you teach has helped a ton with the trial, the drug dealer method. And man, that's been crushing it for me. And then I have book an appointment on Saturday to talk with a guy that's going to finish up his 2-week trial to get him renting a site as well. So
yeah, just to be clear, the drug dealer method is to let them try it for a little while and then kind of get addicted to it. That's all there is to it. There's no nefarious parts of this, right?
Yeah, this is anything besides that, man.
Being recorded on Facebook. There's no drug dealing going on here. Okay, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. It sounds like things are really moving in a good direction for you.
Yeah, man, and I hate to say it's a little bit of my back, as you know, my personal situation. My back's been put up against the wall, and it just seems to be, unfortunately, that's where I perform the best. I hate to say that. Like when I have to make crap happen, I make crap happen. I think we're all kind of complacent like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like pressure to really kind of enforce that sense of urgency, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. Congrats on all that success.
Thanks.
It's really cool. I know that you've been kind of in the trenches for the last month, or I can't remember exactly when we met. Maybe it's been a month or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something
So
like that.
It seems like since we first started talking until now, things have been trending in a really positive direction. So that's awesome to see all the closing deals that are happening now. Did I lose you? Okay. All right, cool. Well, do we have any other wins? Anybody else?
My week wasn't quite that busy, but I had a good week. I sold a website to a granite guy, and he ended up deciding to expand into 2 different areas. So I've got 2 lead gens going for him now. And he's expanding for all the right reasons. He wants to increase revenue so he can start kicking back some equity to his employees and make sure they're taken care of, and kind of build a legacy business that's employee owned.
Awesome. Yeah, I think that's a I think that's a pretty good niche, the granite niche. It seems like low competition, high dollar.
And he wants to go hard on specifically countertops. So
Yeah.
we've got his site set up for general kitchen and bathroom remodeling, and then we're going to set his lead gens up very niche specific.
Awesome. Very cool, man. Congrats on that one, Tyler.
Thank you.
You know, Patrick, little small one. I don't even know if you consider it a win, but a lot of the contractors are really busy now. So they're, having a hard time. They're booked out like 3 months, 4 months. And I had a guy that needed a quote on something. He's buying a house and he wants to know how much he's going to have to put into something. And he called me. He was desperate, had his realtor call me, and I, got reports, and I was trying to help him out. And he called me back later and he said, listen, he goes, just so you know, I've called around to a lot of the other contractors and they all treated me like shit. He goes, they're like, what are you, crazy? And he says they talked down to me when I called trying to get a quote. And he says, when this thing goes through, I'll use you. I spent a lot of time with the guy. At the end of the day, he's writing me up a huge review for the site, so
Nice.
got a review out of it anyways, and he'll use me when it comes time to it.
I mean, those reviews matter, and just kind of like having daily actions that are resulting in these small wins over time. If your daily actions are a bunch of small wins, that's how everything gets done. Anything big is a collection of small wins. So getting a positive review, making a connection, it's all this stuff matters. And I think it's important, especially for those of you that are kind of prone, not that you are, Neil, but for those of you that are prone to like discouragement, you need to, I was talking to my buddy Paul today about this. You got to find a way to hack your brain. You have to be a salesman to yourself and constantly be working towards moving yourself mentally in the right direction. Like he was telling me that, some of the times he's struggling with motivation. He's lazy, and most of the days he's winning against the battle against laziness. But you've got to set things up, create your own scenarios in your own head that are going to move you in the direction that you need to go. Your weaknesses, right? Every single one of us on this call, we all have our own weaknesses. The first step is identifying. You don't know what that is. You need to have some self-reflection, quiet time, staring at the wall, and figure out what that is, and then build your own attack plan. Like, hey, this is where I am. This is where I want to go. I know that I'm struggling with this. Times in the past when I haven't struggled with this is the mental state I was in. How do I shift myself there? What story do I need to tell myself to be able to move? So the example I gave to my buddy Paul was what if you knew that he's got a son. So what if you knew you had 5 years to live? You don't have this indefinite time frame. You got 5 years. What are you going to do? Can you waste a day? Are you okay with that? Or what if we played that game? It may not be true, but if you were to move yourself in the direction of having this limited time frame, you're going to be better off than when you create that urgency. Even if it's a false sense of urgency, that's the game, right? So I told this story before, but if you guys have ever seen The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan special on Netflix, this isn't about Michael Jordan, but it's about the mindset that he puts himself in. So he was in some series and he's playing against this rookie and he had an off game. And after the game, they're interviewing him, and he let it be known that this rookie put his arm around him and said, "Good game, Mike." And the next day he came back and he just obliterated this rookie. The guy couldn't even touch the ball, right? He had no points, nothing. And then they asked the rookie about it, and he's like, I never said "good game, Mike" to him when I didn't say that. And Michael Jordan's like, yeah, he said that. So years later, they're doing this Last Dance thing. And they're like, that guy said he never said that. Did he actually say that? And he's like, no, he never said anything. I just had to put myself in that mental state of being challenged by somebody. So this is the person who, arguably is the best at this sport in history, right? And these are the mind hacks that he's doing is, as we've heard, success leaves clues, right? So find a way for you to hack your own brain, whatever it needs to be, whatever your motivation is, that. So be a salesman to yourself with this story of why this urgency needs to exist. So I was explaining to my buddy Paul, like, so Paul is he's learning this business model. He's driving for Uber Eats. So, you know, he's not making a lot of money. He's just getting started with this business model. He's somebody I've known for a long time. And, you know, I'm explaining to him, like, look, the days of not driving Uber Eats and just having like an extra 10K pumped into your bank account every month are considerably better than those where we have to like go and drive Uber Eats and we don't get to do what we want. Like, he had to work a bunch of extra hours last week because of the financial situation that he's in, right? So we've got to get on the other side of this as soon as possible. You've got to find a way to create that sense of urgency in your head, because you're not getting these days back. Like, however many days you have in your life, everyone that you're not getting that one back, right? So you need to enjoy this as much as possible, right? And to do that, we've got to have urgency to get the results, even if like we're comfortable and we've got like, you know, it can be considerably better when you don't have some of these stresses. So, you know, I like to try to mix in a bit of inspiration into these calls with some technical stuff. So that's kind of the inspirational bit. It's something that I think about regularly. You know, you've got to put yourself on the clock, give yourself a deadline, and hold yourself accountable to it, right? No one, you can trick everybody else. You're not going to trick yourself, right? So if you don't like where you are and you've chosen this as the pathway to get there, put a little fire under your butt. And like Spencer said, he put his back is up against the wall, and now he's had his biggest, you know, what I think maybe your biggest week or biggest collection of 2 weeks that have happened. This could have been going on the whole time, right? That's like, we don't need to wait until our back's up against the wall for this to happen, or like maybe put yourself in that situation. But I think you can artificially create that situation if you can just kind of like hack your brain. So do we have any other wins to celebrate? Anybody else? Good stuff going on?
Hey, Patrick, can I chime in on what you just said?
Yeah, absolutely.
The other piece for me, you guys, so I've been doing this now, we'll call it 16 months. When those sites actually started to produce on a consistent basis, that's what gave me a ton of confidence to know, hey, I can offer this site for 1,000, for 1,500, for 2,000. Like once you have that confidence, nobody can take that from you. And I know that there's a lot of skills that are being taught. And you see guys that are saying, oh, I make, you know, 40K a month, I make yada, 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 but you're not actually doing it. And it is not easy. Google doesn't make things easy on us. All these other steps of doing things. And there's always these forms of business that may not be exactly what Patrick's business is or anybody else's business in the group. And so what really made me like everything come together was when those sites started to rank, consistently bring in numbers, get some people on trials, and then, you know, get them on that 2 week, then start saying, hey, at that 2 weeks, is it something you want to talk about? Most all of them have said yes. I haven't had one person. And then now you're getting renters. And it wasn't that I wasn't confident prior, but it was like, what am I really selling here, you guys? Like, is it enough to actually sell? Now, once you have enough of those leads coming in, the phone's ringing off the hook, because I used to direct them to me. This season, I couldn't handle it. And so I finally got these contractors in place in a lot of these major cities. And now it's almost like second nature. I'm more confident in what I'm doing. And so obviously then that confidence carries over, not just from renting the site, but to talking about people about Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever the case is. So just that confidence piece.
Yeah, absolutely. This goes hand in hand with what I've been saying in the past is like, you're not really going to start to have good money coming in and it be passive until the site is ranking, right? So this is what, like that, I think it was 3 weeks ago, I gave you guys kind of that formula of let's keep 60% of the stuff we have rented. So like, I love building this in chunks. So 25 sites, you should have 15 of them rented, right? So once the leads start to come in, then the sales process, in my mind, it's not really so much as the sales process as it is a like, let me show them what I got. Now it's a negotiation, because if leads are coming in, it's easy to sell, right? So if you have the product in your hand, it's just a question of like, and we know that the product is valuable to the right person. Then we have all the cost because the product does the talking. We don't have to convince them of anything, right? It's just like, here's what it is, try it out. Does this work for you? It really comes down to, is this person are they good at what they do? Because if they are, this is going to have a lot of value to them. And if they're not, then we'll find somebody else. But so that's why it's important, like the shoes on the shelf, right? 25 sites, get those sites ranking. Don't build 150 sites. Like get the ones ranking that you have, because that's the opportunity for money right there. So we got to have enough of those, because we know some of them are going to fail, right? Or some of them are going to take longer, right? So I think 25 is a good number so that you can like, hey, I've got enough out there. Now I can focus on these, right? And if you guys are choosing, I started thinking about this yesterday. I'm always kind of thinking about like, what value can I bring to these calls? And I started thinking like, everyone has this magic or this like coveted 10K a month number. It seems like the first step for everybody that comes into this business model. That's not everybody, but most people are like, they're all choosing that $10,000 a month number. It just sounds like such a sexy number. So like, what do you need? You probably need 10 sites ranking. That's all. Like 10 sites ranking. If you choose the right niches, that's $10,000 a month easy, right? I would hope that if you choose the right niches, it's probably $15,000 a month or more. So to have 10 sites ranking, if we say, like, I think if you build 25, I think you can, if you do the work on all 25 of them, I think 10 of those are going to be popping after some time. Maybe it's 6 months, maybe it's 8 months. It's usually not 3 months. I know that's kind of like this unwritten number that some of us are taught that, hey, after 3 months, like I haven't found it to be that, but $10,000 a month for the indefinite future, 6 months is not that big of an investment. Once we know, like, look, that 6 months probably needs to start once you're kind of competent with these skills. So it's not day one, 6 months later. It may be, depending on how hard you're working, it may be not, it may be 9 months from when you get into this thing. But the point is, you like, it's not that far away, right? It's like the first part is let's learn as much as we can. And then the second part is like, how do we build this enough of these so that we have this opportunity? And, it's like, you've got so much time. And if, let's say you build your 25 sites, you're kind of spreading this like layer, whatever, of, let's call it peanut butter. You're spreading this layer of peanut butter out over these 25 sites. If you have 100 sites, you still have the same amount of time. Now you're spreading it out thinner. So they're going to be moving slower, right? So 25 is it's a good chunk that you can kind of like delegate enough of your time. So for those of you guys, if this is like really, really good stuff for you right now and you didn't see the video 3 weeks ago, I would go check that one out. It might have been 4 weeks ago. Jeff, you could probably plug it in. The one where we gave the spreadsheet afterwards, that call where it's kind of giving you that schedule. So I think, you get 25 sites. If you choose the right niches, I think that's enough to get you to that 10K a month, right? Because I think, 10 of those are probably going to pop, right? You need to do your due diligence well. And this is like, nothing is set in stone. Okay, Patrick says if I build 25 sites, 10K a month, that's a rule. That's not really what I'm saying. I'm saying like it gives you a large enough sample size for the ones that will be successful. And if you choose high ticket niches, that's not a big number to get to, right? Right now, I feel 100% confident that if I were to build 25 sites, I would get $10,000 from at least 10 of those sites, right? So, okay, cool. So I'll tell you, we had a win and a loss in our agency this week. We had a client in Austin that has been with us for a few years, and he decided. So I don't even mind sharing the niche, but he decided he bought into. He's been successful in the first niche, but he bought into an air conditioning company. So he said, "Hey, I trust you guys. I want to work with you guys." So how we do things now is different than how we did things then. And I just basically said, hey, it's going to be this startup fee, and it may be 6 months or more because air conditioning in Austin looks competitive to me. So we've already gotten started on it, our process. I asked him for addresses. So that's what we do at the beginning of our process is like, hey, I need to get address. This is a competitive niche. and we needed to set up those antennas we've talked about all over the city. So he gave me a couple addresses. I'm getting more addresses, but we're building our attack plan with a lot of what we discussed last week's call, where it's like, hey, what are you going to do when you're going into a competitive niche in a big city like the Austin area? There's, I don't know, 2 million plus surrounding this area, right? So that's what we're going to do, is we're going to probably build multiple sites. We're going to have a bunch of different GMBs. We're kind of like going through, we're looking at the competitors. We're at that beginning phase because this just happened this week. So the loss that we had, we raised the rent. I think I shared this as a win a few months ago. We raised the rent on a bunch of clients, and we took this client from 1,500 to 2,500. And she said that her stuff it's got too expensive. She canceled yesterday. I gave her a little follow-up message. She said our bill is too expensive and she can't afford it. And I looked at what we had sent her, and I would say the average ticket cost in her niche is at least $2,000. And so far, after 11 days, I think we had sent her 65 leads. So a tremendous amount of leads, so she's not the right client. And we're going to basically take this to another client, and I'm unwilling to sell this for $3,000 a month, or less than $3,000 a month. That's going to be our bottom. So it's a loss now. It's going to be a long-term raise. She wasn't able to respond to a lot of the calls that were coming in. She from the beginning, I wanted to work with her and try to make this be successful, but she missed like 80% of the calls that came in last month. So that's not going to be profitable for her, right? If she's missing all the calls, then how can this ever work? So right now it's a loss, but I want to share some of the things that we go through, because like we're going through it as well. So if you guys are going through this, it's nothing to be discouraged about. Like we talked about last week, it's kind of a roller coaster. It's going to be trending up. I think ultimately this is going to work out better. We're going to find a better client. I see a question here. How many clients accepted the raise, and would it cover the cost of losing this one person? Yeah. So far, she accepted the raise. And then she basically, 3 months later, she said, hey, this isn't working. She didn't really offer any kind of hey, can you give me less leads for this? She didn't say anything like that. She just said she wanted to cancel. Just that's fine. Every client that I've asked has accepted the raise so far. I've never been shut down on this. So it's always been justified. It's based on the value that we're giving. And, we're able, using lead generated, we're pretty easily able to justify our numbers. We know exactly where we are with these people. We have the calls coming in there. We have the form submissions. So I can just look at these numbers and be like, hey, this is what a value of a lead is in your industry. This is what we sent. If we were to multiply this, it would be this amount. I'll discount it a little bit, but it need so maybe it's worth $5,000 a month. So let's make it for $4,000 a month, because I personally don't like to redline these people, and then it's just an unstable relationship. I want them to be, very happy and benefiting from this. So, but yeah, so pretty much everyone has accepted it. I see. Do you use some standard questionnaire to filter bad clients? So we don't really have a questionnaire. It's more of, at this point, it's become more of a feel, right? We've been in this industry for 5 years now, and isn't easy information to kind of just download to all of you guys, but there's red flags that you need to be looking out for. Has this person been in business for 15 years, and they're the only people that are, it's just them, him and his wife, and that's just it? It's maybe they're not growth minded. Right? Are they not answering the calls? They have bad reviews. These are some of the things that we look for. What's their plan? Do you feel like this person is intelligent? Are they good at talking to people? Right? If you call them up as a potential customer, I was talking to Harry last night, and he said he called up 100 people in one niche, and only 30% of them answered the calls. So that's 70% that's not answering calls. They're also not going to answer your calls, which means they're probably not going to close very many of the leads, which means the value is not going to be there for them. So you're kind of looking for this. Imagine you're hiring this person to come and do whatever work at your house. What kind of feel do you get from them? Those are some of the things, like listen to your guts, right? When you're having these conversations, this doesn't feel right. There's probably a reason, right? If you notice that they don't have any reviews, they're probably not blowing people away, right? There's always a diamond in the rough hiding in there. I found people that don't have a site, and then they've turned out to be great clients. But you start to get a little bit of like some spidey skills with this after a little while, where you're just like, this doesn't seem like my type of guy, right? Or it does, right? Okay, cool. All right, so that's kind of like the wins that we have there, and our unfortunate loss. I want to share with you guys an update that we have coming here. We are going to be spotlighting Graham tonight, so we'll get into that with him. Is there any questions that anybody has right now while I'm pulling this up? Jeff, you got anything on the questions? I haven't been watching the Facebook stuff.
I'm getting a couple, but I answered. Jarrett is saying that he doubled the rent on one of his clients this last week. Congratulations, Jarrett. And a couple people were asking about Andrew has 23 lead gen sites. How do you worry about ranking them all at the same time? I kind of just gave him a little bit of a canned answer about how we do it. We keep building, and it just depends on how many existing client projects we have compared to what we're trying to build and our resources. And you just have to prioritize the best you can. Some of them get thrown to the back burner, and then they kind of emerge later. And that's a really great thing to have when you're working with like Patrick's agency, where we have so many sites, and then they just kind of like, they surface, and then it's like, as a sales guy, I'm like, okay, now I can try to sell it, or I go and do a little research. Well, how many GMBs do we have behind it? Like, what's the status? Does it have site, all that stuff, and start working to rank it better so that, it's going to produce enough to sell. But that's kind of the way we do it, is just throw a lot of shoes on the shelf and then prioritize based on the money we have coming in and the resources we have available.
Right. And you guys, like, we're probably not going to have a long downtime on the site, if at all. I think Jeff already has somebody that he's trying to tee up for next month. Oh
yeah, the one where the client dipped out. Yeah, for sure. Because that's a niche that we're in other locations. So we have quite a decent reach in that niche. So I just make a few calls and then, have some interest pretty easily,
right,
or pretty quickly, I say.
I think we'll probably have, like, she's paid through the end of this month, the client that dipped out on us. So I think we're going to have someone we do our billing on the 1st. So I think we're going to have somebody that's probably going to start paying in June. So I think ultimately it's going to be a win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beautiful thing about having a producing asset, right? I mean, and that's what Dan says in the training. It's like, well, it's golden handcuffs. If they bail, you have a producing asset this one in particular is generating a gold mine of leads every month. So, I mean, if I can't sell that, then, I'm in trouble. Right?
Right. Yes, sir. You've got it. We've got him on tape now saying it, right? So
I'll sell it. It's already sold pretty much.
I know you've already kind of got somebody lined up for it already, and it's really only been
hours. In the first 6 minutes after I found out, I already had interest. So there you go.
Yeah. It's which is good. Like, we've talked about this in the past too. So one of the things that Jeff is mentioning here is that we're niche down. So when you're niche down, there's so many different benefits to being this. There's a lot of these niches are going to be like, the people know each other in these niches. So the referral network will be really strong. If I say, hey, do you know anyone that's in this area? One of our clients that we're already killing it for can easily refer us to someone else they know, and it's coming in very, very hot, right? And a lot of these people, we have a policy where our clients don't compete against each other. So we're not going to have two people in the same city. I'm just going to mute you, Sherry, because we're getting some feedback there. Okay, so if we have two clients that service the same area, but we're only providing them we're only providing one of them, and one of them dips, then we can easily pass it on to the second one. So it makes things a lot easier when you niche down. You know the pain points, the pages that you're going to have to build. If you found good backlinks, you can use those same backlinks, right? You're going to know that the leads that are the most valuable type of leads, right? You don't want to niche down too soon. I've mentioned this in the past. You want to like, you know, if you're starting out with like your first 25 sites, I wouldn't build 25 sites in the same niche. Maybe you pick like 7 niches or 8 niches and you build like 3 or 4 sites in each one of these different niches. So that way you get a little bit of a sampling, right? And then once you have one that you like, or maybe you do that in the first 10 sites, then, you know, okay, so I've got like 4 sites in the first 10 that I'm building out. So now as I go into the next 15, I really like this niche. I have a little bit more confidence. I would want to have somebody that's like closed in that niche, because until you've done the full life cycle of a sale within a niche, you're still going to be learning, right? And even after that, you're probably still going to be learning. So it's important that you don't dive into something too deep before you really know what you're getting yourself into. But once you do, I definitely recommend niching down, and you know, everything gets more efficient and faster once you have that, once you've niched down, right? You have a playbook for that niche of what you're going to do. The keywords, all that stuff that takes us a little while to learn is already done for you as you move into that new niche. Okay, so I'm going to share an update that we have. As I mentioned, we kind of have a update on deck for our contacts module that we'll be adding, as well as our pipeline system. And we've been revamping this one as well. So I know that a lot of you guys have asked for this in the past. So this is our form builder. We're turning this into a lot more of a form builder that you would see kind of like in a website builder to make things easier for you guys. So the way it's going to work is it's going to be drag and drop over here. And you are going to be able to add these fields in, and then you kind of manage things with these tabs over here. You can see that we're starting to add in some of these things like this, like the left, how it's centered, right? We still got this stuff with the placeholder text and the hover text. And then we're going to be giving you guys a lot more, it's not really doing a good job displaying it here, but a lot more functionality towards, without having to know like CSS or HTML, to be able to just apply the styles through our system, right? So this is just kind of like an interactive mock-up. Our developers are still building this, but so each field is going to kind of have its own area over here where you can set a lot more of these different types of information. So as well as like, we're going to give you guys some templates. So we have a very good designer. If you guys have liked the way that our system looks, it's a part of our designer. And we're going to give you guys some really cool, beautiful looking forms that you can basically just say, okay, I want to use this template, right? So maybe there's going to be like 10 or 15 different templates that you can choose from. So one could be like a form with like a semi-transparent background, right? Where you can just drop it in. A lot of like, just like beautiful styling built into it. So that's kind of what we're working towards. I'm hoping to have this one released next week with several other ones. Our pipeline developer, I was hoping to launch that last week. Fortunately, he got COVID and now he seems like he's back in action. So we just have a couple final touches. There's a lot of pieces and we kind of got to release them in the right order because there's some dependencies on some of the stuff that's involved with each other. But this one is coming very soon. So I just kind of wanted to give you guys the heads up on this. A lot of cool functionality on how this is going to work. And we'll have a preview spot right here where you can actually see without having to pull it over to your site and launch it. This is exactly how it's going to look when you click this preview button, right? So I know that like Jot Forms, if any of you guys have used that, we've modeled this to some extent off of Jot Forms. So like, I think this is one of the oldest parts of the application. So it's time to kind of like give it a little, give him a haircut, make him look a little nicer, fancier. So, yeah, so that's what's coming. Any questions on that from anyone?
I do have a question, Patrick. And it's more about the fields, because I know that in the forms we can create new fields also to add over there. I've been trying to import lead. So when you import lead, what I understand is that you go through this form, basically through Zapier.
I'm sorry. I couldn't understand the word that you said there. You've been trying to do what?
Import leads. Yeah. So from a Zapier connection. So from what I understood, it goes through the different fields that are available on the form. Is that a fair assumption?
Let's back up 1 second. So you're using the Zapier connection. Are you running Google Ads? Is that why you're using Zapier?
It's not necessarily for Google Ads, but I want to import leads into lead generated. So in the form, I did create some additional fields. The struggle that I have today is that when I'm importing something like a link, for example, there's no way right now in the forms to have a link being displayed. Is that part of your next update?
Okay, so there's a couple confusing parts here. The first, I guess your question is there a way to put a link into the
It
form?
is. Yep.
That's certainly something we can add. Okay, what would the link, I don't understand the use case for the link.
Let's say that you have another way to generate leads, okay, and then you want to be able to have a link which tied to this record on this other system.
Ah, okay. So you want to track like, so you're looking for like as a lead is submitted, it's not necessarily like a link that a customer would be clicking on. It's just something that is included with the field as it comes in.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Would that link be the website URL?
No, it's not the website URL. I know that we have a way to have the website URL in Lead Generated for the customers, but no.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I would need to understand a little bit more the use case for this so that we could pull that in the correct way. Now, Laurent, are you using the embed forms?
In fact, I'm using both the embed form, yes, and which says I don't need necessarily a URL or link for that one, but I'm also using just importing leads from Zapier.
Oh, okay. I think I understand what's going on here. Maybe it's I think you're being polite and you don't want to mention anything about a phone system, and that's why you're importing with Zapier. So I got you now. Okay, I understand the question now better, and I appreciate your discretion on the way you phrase this. So I don't know that we have that capability now, but that might be something we're adding, you know, in the near future to kind of structure things for you. I know there's a lot of changes going on with you know, some of these phone systems, so we're trying to do our best to accommodate. You know, as you guys have seen, there's been a lot of changes with CallSling recently, and you know, it's created some changes on our end. So we're constantly trying to tweak things to make sure things are getting pulled in correctly, and we'll continue to do that. I don't know that we have a way to pull a link in, although maybe it just wouldn't register as a link in our system if it's coming through Zapier, because it's just going to be it's not going to be like a clickable link, right? It's just going to be the URL that's getting pulled through. So yeah, I'll have to put some thought into that one, Laurent.
Then I tack on to that one as well, Patrick.
Yeah, is that Dave?
Yeah, it is. Sorry.
No, you're good. Sometimes I need to change the view of this. I couldn't tell where that was coming from.
Yeah, I wanted to tack on to that and ask is there, and I sent Jeff a direct message on this as well, does your roadmap include any kind of conditional logic? So let's say you've got one tracking number that is coming in to everything and for everything. So you've got an electrician, you've got a tow truck company, you've got a plumber, all coming in, all on one number. And being able to have the conditional logic in the form that says, I'm looking for a plumber. Okay, now you're going over to the plumber questions and filling in the specifics on that plumber that you're looking for. Or
right,
you want to go to the other trades and ask, okay, in this form I need to ask these questions to provide a quality lead. Is that something that's in the roadmap?
Yeah, it is. So that is the campaign builder that is going to tackle that, and I think this is I think it would be impossible for me to express the difference that I predict this is going to make in your guys' ability to automate things. I think once you see it in action, it's going to be a complete game changer. I don't think there's a lot of systems that even exist out there that can do some of what is going to be able to be done with this. So this is our campaign builder. We've got this on pause a little bit now. It is the number one priority. Like the number one priority that's longer than like 2 or 3 weeks of development is this one right here. But what we always have to end up prioritizing about it is if we have tickets come in, we prioritize that first, and then the feature second. So that's why sometimes these features get pushed back, depending on like, hey, we're running into code issues. I'm not going to allow our system to be like glitchy and broken. I don't care if it means that we can't roll features out. I'm just like, I hate software that's like that. So as a cornerstone, we're going to focus on tickets first and any problems that we see. And then with our extra development time, it'll go towards features. And this is our top long-term feature. It's the most complex part. So basically how this works, this is, again, one of those interactive mockups. So you create a campaign. So let's say I click on this and it's going to take us over to this campaign builder. So this is our visual campaign builder. We have triggers and we have actions. So if you click on a trigger, you can say what happened. So maybe it's a new call or a new form submissions. And then I could say, okay, if it's a form submission from this form, or it like this lead field status is going to be one that is really used. It's so let's say you've created your own website form and it has a status of like zip code or something, right? And then I could say, if the zip code is this, then do this. If the zip code is not this, then do this, right? So you can essentially almost become like the programmer and build out all your own actions that happen after it, right? So then we could go in here, we could add in additional conditions, right? I could say, okay, if the field has this value, it contains this text, has this tag, all these different things that you can do, right? So from here, you're getting a lot of flexibility, okay? So let's say I choose this one and then I choose done. Now what happens next? So what happens next is I can decide what happens next. So it's like those little books where you can make your own story, right? So I think we're getting some feedback from somebody. Jeff, can you figure out who that is and let me know?
Maybe Shannon?
Sorry.
Everybody else muted, I think.
I'm just going to mute. Oh, man, where did the controls go when you're on screen share? Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm just going to mute everyone. Hit it with a hammer. All right, so now you have these actions to take after that trigger. So that could be wait 15 minutes because we want it to look organic, right? And then send an email or send a text message. So we've been working with the CallSling development team to tie in to be able to send text messages from the system through our system, right? So we can build in that automation. Deals, right? We can, so the deals are the pipeline system, right? Each one of those items within our pipeline is a deal. So we've got that working. We've had it working. It's just a couple like small UI tweaks that we're making. Campaigns, you can move it into another campaign, which means you can kind of like stack these on top of each other, right? You could update. This is our contacts module that we're about ready to release. This is another condition. You could create a task. So our task is like a reminder system. I've demoed this on past calls, right? So we could say, hey, I want to send a text message reminder to this person at this time, right? So we can schedule that kind of stuff to happen or assign it to a user. This could be assigning it to a client or it could be assigning it to another person within your agency. So let's say I choose one of these, right? Then I can add on another one and another one. And I can just keep on doing this with all kinds of conditions. So you'll have the ability to copy these. So you'll be able to take like kind of a snapshot of this and then say, okay, I've built out this like complex logic here with different variables. Let me apply this to this other one. So this is going to, I think long-term, this is going to replace a lot of parts of our system, right? And we're going to give you guys some templates. Right. So maybe the template is when a lead comes in forward to client, and then I could just copy that and say what client and make it really quick. So I think long term, this could replace like our reputation management, the request system, right? It could replace lead forwarding, notifications, a lot of different pieces. Like as you may be able to tell, this is a really complicated thing for us to build, and I'm very excited to get it in here because I think it's going to just change the way this whole system works. And I think the visual nature of this, even though this is complex, I think it's kind of like building this out. I think it's going to make intuitive sense to a lot of people on how this is going to work. So, Dave, does that, I imagine that answers your question, right?
Yeah, it's right on par. You know, like I said, having one lead gen telephone number that goes to a form that you know, you can break it out with the conditional logic and, you know, send a plumber lead to a plumber or send an electrician lead to an electrician. That's going to be huge. The text messaging or the automated straight to voicemail, you know, those integrations, you know, I know it takes a lot of code, but it's right on par with what I'm looking at, and I know that'll be a game changer for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I can't, like, I'm excited to get this in for you guys. I'm really excited for my own agency to have this in here too, because there's a lot of these, I'm paying people on a daily basis to do a lot of the things that this will handle.
And that's the last use case scenario that I was thinking of as well, Patrick, is, you know, maybe you want to have some of the leads that come in for, let's say, a cleaning company. Great. You have those leads come in. Some of them you pipe over to a cleaning company that's outside your area. Maybe you own your own cleaning company and want to pipe some of those leads in for yourself for a smaller radius. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've got a pool cleaning company in a city, and terrible niche to go into, but we have a special reason for going into it. But the one guy can't handle the entire city, so we end up having to answer the calls for them and like divide it based on zip codes. And this can do this for us, right? It's going to be great. So I think it's gonna make a big difference for a lot of people. And then this is going to be leveraged throughout our entire application. So all sorts, like all different parts. It could be that like, hey, when a GMB gets suspended, then like text me, or I don't know, like maybe that's not a good example, but you can build this out based on a ton of different events is essentially where this is going to go. Right. So, okay, cool.
Awesome.
So
thanks for sharing, Patrick.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
I don't see anything in the chat or anything, Patrick.
Cool.
On.
All right, so I think we are ready to move on to the spotlight session with Mr. Graham. Is he on here? I've lost it.
I see him.
Hey,
There
how you doing? Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
That wasn't very convincing.
I'm hanging in there, man. I'm getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, what's going on with you? Who's kicking your ass?
Oh, shit. Some BNI people and you know, some other clients.
So with well, let's get real with this, man. Let's get the most from this session and let's talk about it. Let's so what's going on with the BNI and what's going on with your clients? What's not working?
All right. Well, one of my first clients that I got last year, I've had him for a year. He's doing okay. I think I've doubled all the calls he's getting so far. But I was like, for like a year, I was like, hey man, like why haven't we grown in reviews? I was really concerning. You know, I was like, why aren't we getting no reviews? And like when I look around, like into the lead generated or like on Yelp or somewhere, I'm seeing like bad reviews. Either he didn't show up or they didn't show up or they did a bad job, right? And then I just took, and CallSling, we can text now from that tracking phone number. And I sent like everybody who called from January to like 2 weeks ago a text message requesting a review. And like not that many people replied, but like 70% who did was like, look, like we went with somebody else because you didn't show up. So I called them out and I was like, hey man, like, you know, I'm probably gonna have to use somebody else. So I mean, I don't want to do that right now, but if I have to, I'm gonna have to, you know, because he's gonna end up driving my lead gen into the ground just based off of like a bunch of bad reviews.
Right. And you're not really, I mean, there's multiple problems with a client like this. You're not going to be able to charge what it's worth if he's not showing up, because you're not going to be able to charge what it's worth unless he's getting the value from it. And if he's got like business problems on his end, then he's not going to be able to get the value from it that you know, like, this is why it's important to have a client that's a killer, right? That's in there crushing it, because they're going to be making a ton of money from the site. And because of that, you can charge more, right? If you get someone that closes 1% of the time, are you going to be able to get like 10% of like, are you going to be able to get the proper lead value? Probably not, right? So it's tough, man. And Joseph, how many paying clients do you have in your business?
Around 4 lead
So,
gen clients.
lead gen, and you got some SEO clients then, it sounds like.
No, I don't got. I've been working on that. I don't got none of those. I got a couple
Okay.
websites and some GMBs.
Yeah. So you're in the tough situation where, like, if you give this guy the boot, that's 25% of your client base is gone.
Yeah,
right?
pretty much. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I told him like, hey, like we're gonna have to like up the rent too, because like from last year we were getting like 30 calls a month. And then when I just checked, it was like 163.
Holy cow. Do you mind, and you don't have to do this, do you mind sharing what the niche is?
It's drywall.
Drywall. So how much are you charging this guy?
1,000.
1,000. Okay. Let's do a little experiment here. I'm going to see if I can find this. I don't know if it's in,
And I mainly do this in large cities. Like most of my legions are in like large cities, because my first couple ones were like in like 100,000 populations. They get a lot of calls, but like there's not that many people that want the calls. You know what I mean?
right.
Because there's not that many business owners in those towns.
Yeah, that's it can be tough in some of those towns, right? Especially like, I think the drywall niche, I played around with it a little bit. It seems like certain niches have there's like stereotypes that accompany certain niches, and like finding good drywall people, it seems like it's a tough thing to do. Like there's like, I remember
It's been hard.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of like for whatever reason, it appears that a lot of these people there's like a lot of like habitual drug users that are also doing drywall. Like I think they make quick money. I don't know why that happens, but it's just been my experience. And then I've talked to other people and they said like, yeah, this is like really, really common. And I don't know why that happens. I don't know if like drywall school, they're like passing stuff out and get people in there, but it doesn't seem like, it seems like a hard niche to find good people in for whatever reason.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So this is what I'm
Or
talking
somebody
about when I'm
that
saying like,
wants to take the houses or something.
yeah. When you niche down, you want to know some of the stuff, and you got to go through the entire cycle and close someone and get someone on that retainer for a little bit before you decide to niche down and go, because there's going to be stuff like this that you wouldn't know that just kind of shows up. But this is my Homeadvisor pricing sheet. Okay. So I'll tell you that the lead quality from an organic website crushes the lead quality from Homeadvisor. So you guys this needs to be the minimum bar of what we set it. So I'm just going to do a search, and this is in the group. See if we can find drywall right here. Okay, so we've got repair and install. Okay, so let's say that, let's do this. Let's say that it's half, if it's half repair and half install with some business. So we'll set the average at like $27, somewhere around there. Right. So I'm just kind of like, if this were my business, I would maybe go through and find out, because if we're ranking better for repair, then we're probably.
I have it as 35 a lead. And then like, if they want to do a day rate, most of my guys, I put them on day rate, like 45, 50 bucks a day. This guy was my first one. So like,
What do you mean day rate?
Find him, a day rate. So I'm like, hey man, like I charge 35 bucks a lead because they're all exclusive. They're not getting banged on by like everyone else in town.
Right.
And so you might get 2 calls a day, you might get 5 calls a day. So instead of getting charged 35 per lead, I'll just charge you 45 bucks a day. And I just kind of, they're like, yeah, that makes more sense. I'm getting what I wanted in the first place at the end of the month.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're you may be getting paid more for this in the short term. You're going to create more overhead for yourself by having this like day rate where it's like, okay, did you get a lead on that? I don't like, maybe I'm not completely understanding it.
The day rate is the same as a flat rate, as a monthly rate. I just break it down to the day.
Oh, I see. So you're saying like 45 times 30
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, so if that were the case, then so let me bring up this awesome tool I have here. Let's see, oops, it doesn't want to put on. Let me get this out of full screen.
And this is just one guy. Like, it's really hard. Like, all my clients is like really, except for one, it's hard to like really like communicate with them because they're like so hard-headed, you know, and like.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you may be. I agree, and that's like a part of the niche that you're in too, right? So you may like you need to be considering all the pluses and minuses of these niches. So if we're in drywall, then like we've got to deal with like these drywall guys who maybe are not as cool as maybe some other people, right? So you're at $13.50 a month at that, but you said you had 163 calls, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, for that guy, I just charged him a flat rate. He pays like 260 a week, but like the other two drywallers I got, they're 1350 at 45 a day.
Okay, so that number right there is what I would be targeting. And I know that you're having a hard time with where you're at now with these guys.
He's making 7K off of that lead gen, so
because he's not showing up for 70% of the calls, so right?
No, well, just like I texted for reviews, but like 70% of the people that responded to that message were like, "Hey, like you didn't show up." You know?
Yeah, this is there's multiple problems with this guy, and you, in my opinion, you are not getting the value that you deserve at 1,000. This is right here, this number 4401. I took 27 and multiplied it by 163. So 27 was determined based on the pricing that Homeadvisor is selling this stuff for. So that is a number that's a long way away. 163 leads a month is a huge amount of leads, right? Even if we took it at the minimum, 163, and we need to, I just want to make sure that 163 is the actual number of leads, not like calls plus form submissions, right?
So, well, yeah, I went through every call like the last 30 days, and I was like, okay, this guy, and I copy and paste the number. If it's a blacklist number, I listen to him. There's 163. Now there were like 200 and something calls.
Okay.
But 160 of
so
them
these
were,
163 are the ones that you perceive as being like qualified.
right, and that's including emails and texts.
Are these all on one phone number?
I have 3 numbers for this lead gen so far, and he's getting calls from 2 of them.
Okay, so you have the ability to, like 163, you're going to have to find somebody that has a business and not like a guy that has a truck and knows drywall, right? You need like a businessman to be able to handle that amount of volume. But since you have 3 numbers, you have the possibility of kind of like segmenting this and saying, look, you're going to get this one, you're going to get this one. I don't like to have my people compete against each other, but at the same time, when you get yourself in the situation where you've just blown out the market and you've got so much coming in, like they can't handle it. And that doesn't mean that you lose because they can't handle it. That means that you find somebody else that can handle it, or you give them the opportunity to say, look, I've got 163 leads. This is how much it's worth. I will give you 3 months to get up to speed to get this, but I'm not going to like throw stuff away because you don't have your ducks in a row. Like, I'm not going to word it to them in that, but that's like, we need to,
I got
you. This is worth at least $4,000, right?
I have a couple things about this, Patrick. One thing, Joseph, is like, I don't know, you listen to those calls, but I know that a lot of drywall stuff comes in and it's like, oh, I had a plumber replace a pipe and it's a 2x2 section. Like, nobody wants that. That's like handyman stuff. Like, no actual company is going to want to do that. So I don't know what jobs are like that, but that's something to keep in mind. And then Dave offered the valuable insight that there are a lot of other industries or contractors that would maybe want those leads to expand upon their own services, remodelers or home builders and whatnot.
Maybe painters, some painting companies, but it's very specific. Like I'll contact like a lot of other contractors because I'm trying to replace his ass. And they'll say, oh, well, we only do like these steps. They don't do the whole process like my lead gen says, but they only do like a couple things. Or they don't do like a big jobs, like a whole house. And then like my guy, he was like, well, some of these calls, I'll contact them, I'll get their number, I'll show up, but they just don't get the job. They don't go with me. I'm like, well, that's not my fault. That's not my fault. You booked a job, you went out there, you know.
Yeah, your job is to give them somebody who's looking for this service, right? I've delivered to you in real time a person who is looking for the service that you say you provide. What happens after that? I'm not going to close this stuff for you. That's your job, right? If that doesn't work for you, then like maybe this isn't the right opportunity. And if you what I love about what you said is you've gone after big cities, which means there's going to be a lot of opportunities. You need to be beating the phones, and I think you're going to have to find what you're going to have to do. One of two things. Like first, find the local kind of Mac Daddy company that can handle this type of volume, or you're going to have to split this between the different numbers. And like hopefully you can find like some people that are strong in this. But I would be anchoring around $4,000 because getting 163 leads with this lead value and getting $1,000 a month for it. I mean, this is like,
and this is just those two numbers or three numbers are from three different legions or two different.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
I mean two different GMBs, and these are just on my part of the town. I live on south side of town. I plan on getting GMBs for the other parts of town as well, so I can really crank, this out. Like,
I personally would not be investing any more time or money into ranking this thing until you've got enough to justify a good amount of money coming in, right? I would be putting my time into how do I get paid for this like I'm supposed to. And the pitch, let's do like a little we'll do a little like kind of role playing here. So I'm going to give you my pitch. You're the drywall contractor. I call you up and I say, hey, do you guys do drywall?
Yes, we do drywall.
Yeah. Okay. How long have you guys been in business?
10 years.
10 years. Okay. And you're the owner of this company?
Yes, I am.
I've been looking around and I'm just wondering, is there a place where you guys have a lot of good reviews?
Check Google.
Google? Okay.
Yeah,
I see this here. I see this. You guys have got some great reviews. So here's what's going on in my business. I partnered with a drywall guy, and he's going through a divorce, and like I'm not a drywall person. I build websites, and I built him this website, and this thing kind of flopped before we had the opportunity to get started. And now I've got all these people calling me for drywall. I want to make sure that these people are taken care of. So that's why it's important for me that someone has good reviews. Now, Joseph, would you mind taking this stuff for just like 2 weeks while I try to figure out what to do? Because I'll tell you, these people are calling me and they're pissed off because I don't do drywall, and like they're just looking for someone. I don't want anything from it. If you get it, just like go ahead and keep it. Like if you close anything, that's fine. Like, and I'm going to be looking for like kind of a long-term solution. But can I just give you a call back in a week and we can kind of touch base and see if this, if you want me to shut this off. Does that sound like something that would work for you?
How much is it?
I don't want anything for this now. Just like take it because these people are upset with me. And like I said, I'm a web designer. I'm not a drywall person. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell these people. They're looking for someone to do work. I don't do the work, right? It just didn't work out how I planned it. We just take it for a couple weeks until I figure out. So that's kind of my pitch. And this is the drug dealer mentality that Spencer was talking about earlier on this call. The goal now is to get them on a trial. That's the only, we don't need to sell them anything. I don't want to even talk money because they don't trust me. I'm an SEO person in their mind, right? We got to do this to get them out of their own way. Because if what we have is worth a lot of money to the right company and it can change their business, it can change their family dynamic, but they don't believe you. They don't know you. You're just like the other 75 calls they get a week where someone's trying to sell them like, oh, I'm going to get you to the top of Google, blah, all this like garbage, right? So you got to have a pattern interrupt. Just take it. I'm not like, so that's the step one. Get them on the trial. You've got plenty to justify a lot of money. Like,
yeah, I do this all the time because we have so many shoes on the shelf. I can't, it would be next to impossible for me to like sell to the perfect client every time. Like the phone's ringing, like I need somebody to answer it because if I don't have a client to answer it, we want somebody to be answering the phone. So I do this particular prospect constantly doing it, and you miss a lot, right? Because it's not the right contractor after all. But at the end of the day, we have enough pumping through the system that we need to get these calls answered. So for me, it works really well. Then you just grease the wheels, right? It's like once they get them, if they are the right contractor, they trust you, they believe in you, and they're ready to go to the next step. You've gotten that far. When I call them back a week, 10 days later, they're either super jazzed or they're like, oh, I'm booked out. The unfortunate reality here, folks, is that, it's not just drywall guys that are sniffing paint and whatever they're doing. It's like the attorneys are doing drugs, and everybody's doing it, and everybody else is sitting on the sofa collecting unemployment. That's why these guys are booked weeks out, and we're in a tough spot right now with contractors. So I think over time that'll break loose, but right now it's tough for our contractors. The people that we have, working with our agency, it's like they are booked out. And so it's harder and harder to get a contractor who's hungry for deals, because they know they can't. How are they going to hire? That's just the reality we're in right now.
Right. This is why I've said it before. I think this is one of the hardest parts. It's not the ranking of the sites. It's not getting the GMBs. It's trying to find the right type of client who can solve these problems. When we start our businesses, we've agreed that we're problem solvers. Whether you realize it or not, that's your role, is a problem solver. So another pitch that you can do, Joseph, is like, hey, look, I've done this all over the United States, and I've got leads coming in this area for drywall. I'm giving a trial. I'm going to pick like 5 to 7 different contractors. I'm going to give you guys stuff for 2 weeks. I don't want anything for it. Whoever the winner is the company that I'm going to go with long term. I'm only going to work with one company. Okay. So from the beginning, I'm kind of framing this thing as like, you have to qualify. The winner gets this prize, right? Not everyone's going to vibe with this, but if you set it correctly, you're going to pick up a lot. Like, hey, we're going to be auditing your calls. We're going to be listening. Everything is recorded. Whatever you guys close is yours. I'm going to cover the cost on this first 2 weeks. And then we're going to choose the company that we think takes care of the best people. And that's who we're going to work. That's who we're going to work with. And I'll tell you right now, we've done this all over the country. We are going to demolish the competition in this city. We're going to own the city. The leads that are coming through here are going to be like, we're going to be the top dog, right? So we're looking for the top dog on your part of this industry too. Is this something that you would want to be involved with? If not, no worries. We got a lot of other people that are interested in this. So your goal, like Spencer said, is just to get them on a trial, because the leads are going to do the talking, right? That's the best salesman we have is letting them try it, let them close some stuff. What's fortunate in the drywall, you're going to have a very, very small sales cycle, right? So someone's going to come in, they're not building like a swimming pool in their backyard and they need like 3 months to decide stuff and like pick out their pool and all this stuff. But like, hey, I've got like drywall that needs replaced. Can you come over? Yes, I can be there. How much is it? All right. Can you come over tomorrow to get started? That like, I'm not in that niche, but I imagine it's something probably less than 3 or 4 days for that sales cycle. If it's a residential job, commercial maybe is stretched out further. Is this making sense, Joseph?
That's making perfect sense.
Okay. Do you see I think you have something of tremendous value here with the site, or these 3 sites or 2 sites or whatever it is that are creating this 163 leads. This is the same adjustment that Paul had to make, right? Being able to price your stuff. So you go in here and let's not like settle based on like the deficiencies of the client that we happen to find so far, right? Because there's in a big city, there's probably 300 other drywall contractors.
This is Fort Worth. I got one in Dallas. So I'm planning on taking over the DFW. This is an 8 million population. Huge
city. And what Dave said, I think is absolutely true. This is a vertical. This is what I call like the waterfall niches too. Is like this one you can kind of go straight up the pipeline. Like, okay, if I can get someone that's doing the drywall, a lot of times that's going to accompany your remodel. So you could have a remodel site in this area too. When someone's doing a remodel, a lot of times they're going to need dumpster rental, right? Or like they're going to need like cabinets and all these different other things that you can tack onto, right? So that's where like one lead maybe becomes like 4 leads. right? You may have to do some modifications with how the calls are answered. Maybe you put someone in there, like you hire somebody from the Philippines to answer some of your calls because they got really good accents, and you don't have to spend like $15 an hour paying them, right? So, and then you have them like coach them to ask these questions like, well, you need some drywall. What kind of project do you have going on here? Oh, we're actually like redoing our bathroom or whatever. Oh, okay. We have a really good bathroom remodeling company. Is that something? Would you like to have them come out to you and just kind of knock all this out in one shot? You guys have a dumpster rental? If you choose our bathroom remodeler, we could actually give you a discount on the dumpster rental too, because we work with a company there, right? So that started out as that lead, but now it's like, I've got multiple companies lined up here, right? So if that's a $27 lead, now maybe it just became a $100 lead, right? And when you have 163 of these coming through a month, this is where you turn this client from, hey, they're currently paying me $1,000 a month to, it's going to take you a lot of work, but this is where you turn this into a $5,000 or $10,000 a month client, right? Because it's like, let's get what we're supposed to get paid for it, and then let's be smart about how we use these leads, right?
He wants more like remodeling type things like kitchens and whatever, but like no one wants to pay up front for lead gens. Like some of my other clients like want more stuff. But, like nobody wants, like I'm expected to build it and then do it like that.
That's you tell them. Yeah, you tell them, look, I've already proved to you that we can do it. There's going to be a startup fee. It's going to be $1,500 startup fee. We're not going to charge you anything else until we have leads coming in. So they've got some skin in the game. You don't have the pressure on you of building it. You have to have this mentality, like you've already done this, right, Joseph? You've got 163 leads. If you were to like sample the people that we know that have been through this business model, whether it's in this group or another group, like how many other people have a niche with 163 leads coming in 1 month? Like you're probably going to be in the top, like,
I got lead gens that got 200-300, but I can't find nobody for them.
Yeah. So, well, we've got to like come up with the attack plan for this. But my point is, you've already proven that you understand how to rank the sites and get the leads to come in with this site, 163. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're getting paid correctly for this. And, you don't need to doubt yourself and have the client necessarily pay. Like I wouldn't be so much worried about having the client paying me up front for it, because like I already know when I build a site, if I can get 163 leads coming in, that I'm going to rank that site in this other niche, right? So if you're going into remodeling, it's not so much a risk to you. The risk for you is because you have 4 clients and you haven't got the money coming in from it, right? You have it, but you've done the part that is hard in my mind. Now it's a question of finding the guy to do it. And this guy right here, in my opinion, he's not the guy. Okay. Like when we were talking earlier about the red flags, I think it was, my apologies if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but I think it's Punet. So he asked the question, like, how do you have a client questionnaire, right? So this is a red flag for me. When these people aren't showing up, like imagine this was your business and you had 163 people calling you to build lead gens for you. And I called them back and 70% of them said, Joseph didn't even respond to me.
I'd be pissed. I'd be pretty
Yeah.
pissed.
What if that was your employee, right? What if that was somebody you were paying? Because that's essentially what you're doing when you're not getting your full amount of money from this guy. You're paying him to take this stuff, right? You're missing out on potentially $36,000 a year from 1,000 to 4,000 plus.
So what I want to do, I told him next month, like I'm increasing the rent. So I know Dan had just came out with that thing with the invoicing. I know we can do it for the calls. I seen the thing where we can do it for like text leads, but as far as like quote forms, I don't know if it's gonna have to go through your platform to invoice for the quote forms coming in. But that's what I want to do, because last year he was like, no, 35 is too high for a lead. I'll do 25. I was like, all right, 25. So like I want to charge him like 25 per lead every day.
The problem that I have with that thought is you're creating an unscalable situation, or a situation that's harder to scale, because now there's like, I have this going on and I've worked really hard to get the people that I had on pay per lead over to a flat fee. And I have a few that are left, And I would say they cause 80% of the problems. The few, the 20% is causing 80% of the problems. So what I recommend, take it at 25 or 27, multiply it by how many leads are coming in, discount it a little bit and say that's the flat fee. Okay, it's due on the 1st. You don't have to worry, this is a lead, this isn't a lead, all this, like, because that's the situation you create. And I think you may make a little bit more money. Maybe instead of getting the 4,000, you can get 4,800. But that extra $800 that you're going to get is going to cost you a lot of hours of work, a lot of frustration and headache that could be applied towards something that you're getting $1,000 an hour instead of like this, like paperwork. The relationship is never going to be as strong with this type of client because there's like a back and forth, and it's just a lot more to manage, right? We want to get this to Joseph. What's your goal from a financial point? 3 months, 6 months, and let's say 2 years.
Can I share my screen?
Yep. Oh, let me enable. Hold on.
Just real quick while you're doing that, Joseph, I would want to get really clear on what these leads are, because your contractor may also be prioritizing them. If he's having a conversation and it's like, a very small job, he may be cherry picking and just taking the bigger stuff. I mean,
It's
you really
possible.
understand, what value each one of those jobs have. If 80% of your leads are coming through are this like tiny stuff, like I know from the ice storm and all that, people were probably calling anybody, and just saying, hey, I had water damage and it's, it needs like this really small section. I mean, again, it's such a small job, hardly anybody's going to be willing to do that. So I would just want to get really clear on what those leads look like.
I want to tag on that
Absolutely.
as well, Jeff, and if it's okay, I'd like to say I actually put this in the chat session as well. Are these leads that are coming in leads that are outside of the service scope, and how much quality is there from these leads based on that?
So as
service
far as
scope?
all I know is that people call, they say, hey, do you do this, that, and that? He's like, yeah, let me get your address, and they set up a time, right?
So he may
Other
not.
than that, like
Right.
I've been trying to tell him like, hey, like I need to know who you've booked. Like I need to know who you've made money from that came from me. I know that's like pulling teeth, right? Because they gotta track that, but it helps me out, and it helps me actually make more sales when I can say, hey, he's made this much from my services, but that information is like hard to get from them.
So
Yeah, you've got the wrong business owner. And I think, and I don't mean to be like, this is constructive criticism. I think you need to get yourself out of the weeds a little bit with some of these smaller things and think about how you can structure stuff so that you can go faster. And that means not like setting up deals where you're going to have to like count leads, right?
Yeah, 100%.
or even setting up somebody that can take leads, for example, in Georgia, take leads in Atlanta versus being able to say, yeah, I can take all the leads you can send me, and one of them being in Savannah, which is 3.5 hours away. That's not going to do any good for your business, period.
Right. I agree. Jeff, did you have something to add?
I was just agreeing with you that I think the structure is getting stuck in the weeds, and your time is more valuable. Like being able to create more lead gen sites that generate more business, across more niches and locations. Like that's where your skill set is best applied, not auditing leads and not, nickel and diming on different shit. Like get some money that makes sense and move on and go to the next one and rinse and repeat. That would be my advice.
Yeah, see, like since I don't have that many clients yet, like all I can do is just monitor what they're doing. And like this guy, I'm like, yo, like you're gonna run this lead into the ground, man. Like
Yeah.
You
You
need
got to
to
get
get
that
him
dude
out
out
of
of there, man.
you need to get him out of there. And like, again, I would go back to figuring out what these leads look like, because if he's having a conversation and in his head, he's just like, oh yeah, I'll come by and look at it. He's not asking enough questions. I mean, the first thing I want to know, how many square feet? Like, okay, well, how extensive is the job? Oh, well, it's a two by two section in my garage, Well, I'm not the right guy for that. You can go on Craigslist and find a handyman. Thank you. Have a nice day. Get the next call, Because
and he says he's sending review text to every client, but like we haven't got any reviews.
that's probably not happening then. Like it's like it. I mean, if he's getting 163 leads a month and he's not showing up for, like, there's patterns here. The guy who doesn't show up for 2/3 of the appointments that he makes is not like diligently requesting reviews. The person doesn't
Yeah.
coexist. That's like, I just don't
And
think that's how it's
I've been
happening.
asking for a video testimonial for a year. I just can't get it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of like this. When we set up a job on like Upwork, we've got like all these people that are applying for the job, and we have the right to be picky. It's the same situation here, but what the hard part about it is the people aren't lining up for us. We go and give that to them. If you do that pitch correctly, you're going to get these people to go on a trial. If these people are good at what they do and these leads line up with what they do, they're going to sell this stuff. And at that point, the conversation is going to be, I want to keep this. How much is it going to cost me? Like, it's going to cost you this, and these are our requirements. I require 5 reviews a month. I require you to show up. I'm not going to work with you if you don't show up. I work really hard to create this, and if you don't show up, you're ruining our reputation, and that is just somebody I'm not going to be in business with. We're the best at what we do. I'm looking for the best at what you do. Like, you need to come in strong with these people, but also kind of like it's an art, right? This is the part that I think is sales, right? Where like you need to set the tone, right? But you also need to like be empathetic towards their goals. And like from a human to human standpoint, when we find somebody, like who I'm looking for is, I want to look for someone that I talk to them and I'm like, man, I love this dude. I can't wait to make a difference for him. He's got like a little girl who's in school, and his son's playing soccer, and like he wants to spend more time with them, but he can't because he can't hire anyone. Like I want these guys to go on a vacation because of this business that we're helping them build, right? So like all that stuff is kind of like wrapped up in there. When you're trying to sell them, like they don't know. Like, I hope that's how you're thinking about them and your clients and all you guys. That's how I'm thinking about it when I talk to these people, is I genuinely want to help them and make their lives better. So they don't know that that's my intention. They think I'm an SEO guy. But when I start blowing up their business and I do everything I can to try to help them, they realize it over time, right? So we have to get them out of their own way so that they have the opportunity to realize the benefits that we can provide to them, which are substantial. Okay, so I think, Ashley DePiano posted something in the group. It took her 2 years to learn this lesson. She just had her first 10K month, right? The lesson was to say no more often. And I don't know enough about your situation, but if you are having a hard time telling this guy no because he represents 25% of your current client base, then I think that is a lesson that maybe you're in the process of learning, but when you learn it, I think you're going to benefit from it, because like you need to kick this dude out, find a guy who's going to be like, don't pick the weenie on the kickball team, pick the bruiser, right? Like find a guy that's going to crush it and is going to just like, how would you run this business? That's the kind of guy you want to find.
Well,
Who's going to respond to everyone.
The biggest lesson I've learned so far, especially this past couple years, is like not having enough shoes on the shelf. Because like if he was just like 1 out of 100 or something, I would really be tripping on that.
That's huge lesson right there. More than 4 shoes on the shelf would definitely.
And it's taken me like a year to rank, or just to find somebody for some of these legions that are ranked, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Joseph, how many other sites do you have?
So this is just a spreadsheet. This is the one niche. This is the drywall one. And like I have if the site is built. I have if the site is built, if it's ranked. I have a phone number yet. I think there's so far like only like 20 of these, but like I have a bunch of due diligence sheets and stuff. Like I listened to what you were saying like a couple weeks ago, like stop building, start ranking. Some of these are taking like way too long, especially when you got a lot to do. This is another one. This is like a little higher ticket one. I did like the 100 due diligence. So I still got like 100 200 plus cities I could still build these in. These are like a little bit higher ticket. And whenever I sold this one last week, I only got 3K. I was like, I did the numbers from the lead value calculator, and I was like, look, man, they're saying this is the 15 G's a month, but like I'll settle for 5,500. And then like he kind of fast talked me, like, man, I'll give you 8,000 for like I'll just pay 3K a month for 6 months straight. So like I'm definitely gonna have to like renegotiate this like next year, because I've already started. This is in Philadelphia, and I've already started building like 20 more lead gens for the suburbs to help him out as well. But he, like, when I told him that, he was like, oh, well, I'm good with this one right here. I was like, that's not what you said when we started, So, but
Well-
based on what he's paying me with this one, I could probably, like, these $500 ones are the suburbs, and these other ones are just the other cities. But like, some of them are built, some of them are ranked, but
How much have you dug in with that client about how he wants to expand his business? I mean, that sounds like you got somebody.
supposedly he
Look,
just
I would be
started,
asking
like,
every question in the book to try to figure out where he's going with his business and how you can be a part of his,
right. Yeah, I
regional
talked to
or
him.
state- multi-state domination.
I was sitting I was waiting on like something in a parking lot one day, and I just went on Angie's list, like, look, I need to find some clients for these legions. And he was like literally the first one I called. And sometimes, like, I'll stop looking after like for like a few weeks and then do something else. But I came back to this one right here in Philly, and the first guy I called, he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. Well, he started this company like 6 months ago. He has like maybe two other guys doing the work. I was like, hey, are you like trying to scale? So he sounded like he was trying to scale, but I'm bringing like 100 calls for this legion, 123, and the ticket price is like over $3,000. It can from 3K to 10K, 15K, right? So
Just my opinion, based on the way this conversation is going, I think you need to draw a hard line with some of these people and be like, look, this is what we agreed on. If this doesn't work, then
yeah, I agreed on 80 a lead initially, but he's like, oh man, you know what I mean? I was like, hey man, I got like 100 people calling you, and plus like 23 contact forms.
right.
At first, this is what I did. I was like, all right, look, check this out. You seem like you're serious. We're probably going to be working together for a very long time. I'll tell you what, because like when I first started like sending him leads, I did it for free, and I was like, look, we're gonna start charging per lead now. And so like that week he was like paying $500, or he ended up like $1,000 for that week. I was like, okay, look, check this out. You're gonna end up paying like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 a month. But what I'll do is I'll just charge you $2,000 a month for the next 3 months. Is that cool? And then after that, we can renegotiate and see what's going on. Yeah, that's fine. So he paid me $6,000 for 3 months, and that the 3 months would have ended in June. So I was like, man, I want to build some sites on Lead Generated. So how am I going to afford this $1,000 bill? So I called him up. I was like, hey man, I'm building like 20 more of these sites for you. I'm investing in you already. I wouldn't build not one of these for nothing less than $1,000. But all I want is $1,000 a month, and I'm gonna build these 20 sites for you, just like the one you're getting now. Oh, I think I'm good with this one. You know what I mean? And then like he talked to me into like I agreed with the 3K a month. So I was like, you know what? That's cool for right here. Like Dan says, don't get mad at your money. I got more in the works. I just need to get them ranked so I can rent them out, right? And then probably these other ones I could probably charge more.
Yeah, you need to also think, Joseph, about your scroll up a little bit. There's a bunch there that say 500, right? Like you have
These
the
are the
choice.
suburbs that I'm building.
I understand that. But it's also true that these ones that are 500 a month in the suburb, you're building a site in the suburb or you're building a site in the city. Maybe it's going to rank fast in the suburb, but you could choose a city where it's going to be weak, and that 500 number could be 3,000 instead of 500. You have like X amount of hours to allocate. I wouldn't be going into ones where I expect to get 500 from it. Like I just don't. I think there's some strategy choices that you can just tweak a little bit and you're going to get a lot better result. Like, and I like for this guy, that's like kind of like the opportunities or the, when I decide I'm going to build all these extra sites for someone, that's because this person is my, like, I want to be the kingpin. I want to take over this entire city. I want to build this multi-million-dollar business. They've been paying me. They answer the phone. They're great at what they do. Those are the things. Okay, this person I can blow up and I can take this person to 10K. But for this guy, I'm not sure he meets that criteria. And adding on an additional 500, like, I get it. When you got 4 clients, you want to like expand this, but I feel like I honestly think you have everything what it takes to get to 10, 20, 30K a month, but you've got to tweak the strategy and not build these sites for $500 a month. Like, I think that's
that was just like, I was just using that number.
I know you're ballparking it, right?
Yeah, like this is like the least I would be able to get, because like
you're being conservative with these guesses, right?
For these leads, like I told everybody, like it's $80 a lead, $80 a lead. And that's what I base it off of when I first started with him. And that's when I told him it's going to end up being like $6,000-$7,000 a month. But I'll give you a trial for $2K a month just to see, you know what I mean? Like if
these trials, I think it would be really good to structure the trial a little bit different. If like we're going to renegotiate and like, hey, this is what it's worth. So we'll start this month, we'll do 2,000. Next month, I want to be at 2,500. Following month, I want it to be at 3,000. We'll talk again. Let's see where it's at. If this thing isn't delivering, then like we can always have another conversation, but I just can't let it go on for so long. I know what this is worth and I want it to be fair. Like, but I want to build something together here. So I'll ease you into this. And, with the money that you make from the first month, it should be more than enough to pay for the second month and so on. So that way it's fair on both ends, right? So this, and you got to put some deadlines on this stuff too. When you give these people trials, like, look, today is the 12th. I'm going to give you the 22nd. On the 22nd, we're either going to have to make a decision, see if this is right. If it's not, then I can't let this just go on like this. Like it's worth too much.
I came to him with 5,500, but like he talked me down to 3K. That's because he offered me like 6 months in advance. You know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, I might as well just take that. But like over here,
maybe he is a good salesman.
Yeah, he's a better salesman than me. But these are the only clients I got right here. Like,
I would just I would get to know this guy and get to know his plans. Like, do you know how many kids he has? Like, what his plan is overall, what kind of position he's in his life, how many trucks he owns, like what's his financing on his next equipment. Like I can get into all of that shit because I want to know as much about how much I can push him as I possibly can and give him enough breathing room so that we can grow together. If I don't know what's going on, then I'm just, I'm a nobody. I want to be his buddy if that's what it takes,
Definitely.
Paul, I know, Paul, you've been waiting. You raised your hand.
He's got something to say.
Yeah, no, it's just Joseph brought up something about B&I being kicked around in B&I. So I'm just curious about that. And if you need a hand with B&I, let me know.
I'll tell you, like this lady right here, Michelle. I mean, I have a little, like when we went to Vegas, we kind of formed like a little wolf pack and we had this group chat and I got pissed off because I built this site for this lady last night. And, I was supposed to build it for like a couple months ago, but like last night I was like, let me knock this out. And then, so I sent it to her. I was like, look, the site is free. All you got to do is just pay for the ship or pay for the monthly hosting. And she was like, well, no one told you to build it on Snaps. I wanted it on WordPress. And no one said anything about you doing the hosting. I was like, really? Like, oh, we're not going to be a good fit now. I was like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, really? Like, I was up all night knocking this out for you. It's free. All you're doing is paying $50 a month for the hosting. You know what I mean? There's another lady that did the same thing. I built like 7-page site for her remodeling company. And then when it's time to pay, she's like, well, I only got like 800. You can delete these other pages. And then she's like, I'll pay you half now, half later. And then
You don't.
She just made me like redo the whole site, and I just deleted that shit. Like, man, I don't got time. And like, there's other people in this chapter that keep fucking with me like that. Excuse my language, but they keep messing with me like that, and it's like I'm doing all this stuff for them, and they just don't really appreciate it, you know?
How can you protect yourself from this, Joseph? Let's have you
Getting paid in advance.
pay in advance, maybe pay half up front, half upon delivery. That's pretty typical for like website builds. We've gone over this previously, right? Where it's like our hourly rate is going to be a lot less when we're doing website builds than when we're doing lead gen stuff. You're going to get this thing locked in, I believe, at several $1,000s, at least for this like drywall Dallas area thing, right? So like if you compare your hourly, let's say you get this in for 4K, you've got it this way for 3 or 4 years, right? We'll say 3 years, right? So you're making 48K a year off this. Every month that goes by, your hourly goes up. Like the math is just like ridiculously in favor of building the lead gens. And I know that when you have 4 clients, and this can be a way to get you in the door with these people, but you need to take these lessons. And I made the same mistake, and I like some of the times I had to make the same mistake several times. I'm in the process of still learning some of this, where I'm like, let me touch that hot stove again. Okay, they don't like the site. Now it's like, why did I get myself in this situation? Right. So I want you to fast track this and just like realize what's happening with this BNI stuff, with building these sites for these people, right? If you structure this a little bit different, like, hey, this is how we do it. $1,500 to start. That's our minimum. We're not going below that. It's what it is. Make a rule. They want you to pay. They want you to build the thing. It's $1,500 to start. Then we're not going to charge you anything until we have leads coming in. Okay.
So I think Paul had something else he wanted to say about BNI, so I'm really curious to know about that. Paul, would you?
Yeah. So everything that we do in the BNI world, when we offer websites, we also offer lead gens. So I'm always trying to maximize for people. So like Patrick said, I'll go into an area if they want a website, let's say it's in North Bay. I'll also suggest perhaps a few lead gens. But it's defining scope of work up front and, putting it together on a brief and getting that okayed in 50% up front before I touch anything. Nothing gets touched until we get 50% of the cost up front, and the scope of work is determined at the beginning. So I think if you implemented that, that would stop this dance that you're having back and forth, because I don't dance. And I'm not a good dancer, so I make sure I get it all up front first. But it's been over 2 years now for BNI. If you want to hit me up, we can always chat about that. I can help you out with some of those different things within the BNI network.
Ooh.
Yeah. I know Paul's like the BNI master. I've seen some of his videos come up on that, and he shared some of them with me. I think it's a great way to get yourself in the door. But to just to kind of like backtrack here, man, if I were in your shoes, my action plan would be to sell this thing first with some of the stuff we talked about. I'm anchoring towards $4,000 a month for that one. And then I would be replicating this, maybe not in drywall, but in something, right? I'm going to be building more of these sites. It looks like you have at least 25 sites based on the stuff
50.
that you got. 50.
Yeah, but they're not all ranked yet.
So you like, if you follow the stuff, that is exactly what I would do. I would not be building any more sites. All my attention on selling the ones that are ranking, like this one, and then ranking the ones that are not ranking. No more sites. Like you don't need to go and like mess around with like, I'm going to build a site, stay up all night, and then like give it to the person for free for the cost of host. Like that's just not worth your time, man. You've got to go rank this stuff, collect $2,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month for these. Like you'll never want to do this again. Where every time I do one of these calls, the sirens are. Thank you.
Same here. But I mean, the goal was like to give it to her so she could just show it off, right? Because it looks pretty badass. Like I think it looks nice, But it's kind of like give it to her, and then, but she was just like tripping on because it wasn't on WordPress anymore. And like the thing is, like I contacted her like for like a month, like, hey, can you check out the site? Can you check it out? Can you check it out? What do you think? Didn't hear anything. And so I was like, you know what? Like I took her domain off, and then that's when she hit me up like, hey, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to rebuild this on Snaps. You know, I want to see what it looks like. And then next thing you know, she doesn't want it because it's on Snaps, and we didn't discuss the hosting when we did, you know.
You said it was a remodeling site, Joseph?
Oh no, for hers, she makes custom bras.
Oh,
This lady right here, she does like custom bras and like lingerie. And so, but yeah, one of them that I built, the first one in this BNI chapter, it was for like kitchen and bathroom remodeling. You know,
yeah,
it was
I would
pretty.
just put a different domain on it and just sold the leads to somebody
I,
else.
I ended up deleting it, man, because she had me changing up all the content. Like, we don't use those kind of
I
cabinets.
probably wouldn't have
You
done
have
that.
to,
Well, I don't know. It depends on the situation, but for something like that, there's a lot of people on Etsy that are probably custom making bras. We could probably sell it to them. I don't know. Like I wouldn't try to delete it unless I have.
No, I'm not deleting that, the one I just built, but like the one I did for the remodeling lady, like she literally had me changing everything when it's right when it was time to pay. Cause like for 2 months I had her, I was like, hey, like she's like, yeah, everything looks good. I was like, look, I need my money. Well, then she sent me like a text message, like that long of like all the content that needs to be changed. I was like, are you serious? Twice.
You
No,
gotta-
this is what's going to happen when you build sites for other people. Like this is just like completely in line with what you're going to experience. And if
Get these people out of your life,
Yeah.
your business model, go fast, start looking sexy, and move on, man.
and Joseph, I think you got to start telling these people no. Like, look, that doesn't line up with our business model. I'm sorry, because you have the ability to go and do this right here. Like, yes, I can go and like cut my grass. I have the ability to cut my grass, but I would much rather pay someone $40 to come over and cut it so I can do things that are $1,000 an hour or more. And you have that $1,000 an hour skill set. You just haven't realized that you're not recouping yet. You just need to apply the fire hose to your 50 sites and don't take on this like bra building website where like she's going to sell these things and have like an $8 profit margin. It's just that like she's not going to be the type to, and I know there's the don't get mad at your money, but at some point, like hey, I'll pay you $4 to build this website, right? Okay, like I'm not going to do that, and that's not getting mad at my money.
Very angry at my money at that point.
Yeah,
I know what you were probably trying to do, Joseph. You're trying to go in and trying to build relationships in BNI and build a network around that and get business. That couldn't work. And Paul will probably be, back me up on this. It's great if you're doing SEO and all of that, but if you're doing the lead gen model, you're better off, in my opinion, to go pick your location, pick your niche, pick exactly what you're going to do, build it for strapped get it to rank, get it to produce, and sell it to whoever's willing to buy it. Don't get strapped into what other people want is the point. I know Paul probably has a lot to say about that, but that's what our model is at our agency. So that's the way we do it. And if you want some particular thing, it better not be too particular because you're out if it is. You know what I mean?
Joseph, how much money do you need per month?
How much do I need?
Yeah.
Like 10 more thousand.
Well, you're making it on a whole lot less right now.
Well,
So-
yeah, it's like right under 6.
What do you need? What's your bare bones break even? This is how much.
I'm not even breaking even right now. Like last year, I got laid off in like around this time last year, and so I used everything that I had just on the business and for bills, right? So I'm actually
Your bills and paying the rent. How much money would you need every month?
like around 7,000.
So, look, why not just forget about client work, period? You've got a million sites built, and I assume in various stages of completion. You got GMBs for some of them, and so on and so forth. Why not just focus on that? Forget the BNI stuff. Sorry, Paul. Forget the BNI stuff for the moment. Stick with your lead gens and use this in every day, because it's so overwhelming sometimes when we look at the long list of things we have to do. But if you just stick to this one criterion for yourself, lead gens only, and the second criterion, and then every day ask yourself, what's the thing I can do on my lead gens that will make me cash the soonest. Forget strategy, forget your long-term plan. Just do that until you get the 6,000 to 8,000 a month that you need. Okay? And then you're going to have some breathing room, because what I see a guy who's desperately grasping at straws to start bringing in cash.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
you've laid the right groundwork. You've got a tremendous foundation built. Now, utilize that. Stick with that. You made the right decision to get into lead gens. You made a good decision to put shoes on the shelf. You got some of them rented. Take this guy's advice, Patrick and Jeff's. Stick with the lead gens and build those and make them make you some money. You're close. You're probably really close to having the money you want. Just sell the leads. That's all you need to do right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you've already gotten there. If you sell this one for what it's worth, then that's an extra $3,000 a month, right? Which is gonna, I think it said you were at like 5,300. And I agree with Harry. I think that's very astute of like you're grasping for some of this stuff. That's actually, it doesn't, this is why it's like enchanting. It seems like it's like fast money, positive situation, but it's like, it's not. It just seems that way. And then the way it ends up is the way it's been ending up with for you. It's the same way it ended up for me. It's the same way I've heard it end up for 1,000 other people, where they're like, let me build this site and now I'm going to like make all these changes and the person's not happy. And it's just like, holy cow. Like I've got this phenomenal skill set and these are the conversations I'm having to like change the font color or the like, it's just like, are you kidding me? Like people that have your skill set, you shouldn't have those conversations, right? It's your time is too valuable to be going back and forth with this client on like these like minuscule changes. You have the like what this person, the time that you should be spending with this person is like, hey, Joseph, do you know how I can hire 10 more people because you sent me 163 leads last month and I'm like overflowed. That type of person doesn't care about the color of the font. They care about how are they going to get another truck or like this. That's a real business problem, right? And when you have somebody that's selling something like, if you stick to that rule of like average ticket price, that stuff is in place there to protect you. If this lady starts selling bras for $750 per bra and she's selling them locally, then this is going to line up really well with your market. But unless that's the case, like your time is spent better in other areas, right? Like it's take it for what it's worth. I think you are on the cusp of being like, you could have 15 or 20K coming in a month. If I feel like if you take this advice and you just like put the blinders on, block out all this other stuff and just lock down, because you've worked your ass off to get this many sites in here. How long have you been in this, Joseph?
It's embarrassing, man, but like September 2018.
You're right where you should be. You've got 50 sites, man. There's people that have been in this for 5 years that have 4 sites. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. What you need to do is start converting these. So spend your time, like put them into that spreadsheet and figure out where the weaknesses are. If you have any that don't have GMBs, this week I'm getting a GMB on that. If I have to drive, are you in Philly?
No, I'm in Fort Worth.
You're in Fort Worth. If you got to drive around and find these people and be like, look, I'll pay you. Knock on their door. I don't know. Find someone walking around. I'll pay you if I can have a GMB sent here. Like get GMBs for your sites, because you've got a bunch of houses and some of them like this Dallas one, you've got a mansion that somebody's paying like apartment prices for. And these other ones, maybe you built like 50 houses and some of them I just got to put the front door on this one. Right. So like you are in a great spot, but you're on the borderline of where like you just need to push it over the edge, man. Because
I got all day, and like sometimes it's like, what should I focus on? I've tried so many different prospecting things. I've spent so much money on so much stuff, and it's like, you know what I mean? It kind of get like it's kind of like messing with you, like when shit doesn't work. Like the only thing I've really made money with is these legions. When I got people calling this number, now I can just sit here and go through this whole list and just, hey, are you guys busy? Can you take on more work? You know what I mean? Well, other than that,
that's the key to this whole conversation, what you just said. Only thing I've made real money on is lead gens. So look at where your money's come from, and don't build these websites that you're going to make money off, like $14 a month off the hosting. Like, build these things that are going to give you $4,000 a month. Like, that's where your time is, right? So you know what to do now, I think, right? It's time for you to lock
I
down.
mean, yeah, build
If
the
you've got to
legion,
call
yeah.
100 people a day to try to take these leads, call 100 people a day, right?
This is what they call a pivotal moment, Joseph. Pivotal moment. Pivot. 90 days from now, let's have you at that 10K, right? You got the portfolio. Tweak it, sell it, and you're exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean,
100%.
those other ones, like I got 10 sites ranked, only 4 are rented out, and those other ones they're built, right? They're just not ranked. And so like that's what you were saying earlier, like you're spread so thin. Like my first year in, I built 2 sites. The next, like a year later, I built like maybe 10 more. And now I'm like, yeah, I need more shoes on the shelf because it's taking me this long to make a sale, which was only through lead gen. It wasn't SEO. It wasn't, anything else. It was just through a lead gen, through leads that I had calling. So yeah, like definitely trying to narrow down, pick I focus on like a handful that like I'm backlinking to every day. I have a VA. I taught how to backlink. She's linking to a few, right? And then I'm posting and trying to find GMBs as well. But like as far as like trying to make money every day, like that's what stresses me out. Like, because Dan's like, you don't got a real business if you're not making money every day, or a way to make money every day. But it's like, how do I get in front of these people? Like how do I make an offer every day? Like do I need to run some
Yeah, that's
ads?
just like, everyone's got their own different styles. I think you don't need to make an offer every day. Like that's my opinion. Like, I know this is like Dan, he's got products in place where he can make an offer every day. If you don't have a product, what are you offering? You're trying to sell lead gen up front when you have like 50 lead gens that are built. Like, I wouldn't be trying to like build new and sell and build like I just don't agree with making an offer every day. I think making an offer is every day if you have something that is ready to be sold, but you're just gonna you've invested so much time and money to get this stuff in place that it's like it doesn't make sense to be like going out and like making an offer to try to build another one that isn't ranking, right? You've got like, if these were houses and you're like, I built an entire neighborhood with nobody living in it. The strategy, I'm going to go across the street and start a new neighborhood. I'm going to leave these ones empty. You would never do that. Like, let me get an offer on a new house over here. Like, why don't you get some tenants into the ones that you built? And if that means that you've got to do some more work and hook up the electric and the plumbing or whatever, then that's what we need to do. You're kind of like in this situation where if you had not built these 50 sites, then you would benefit from having all that time and money back. But you've done that and you're not getting anything from it yet. So you're kind of like in the work, you're in no man's land right now, where it's like you've spent the time and money, but you're getting no benefit from it. So finish these so you get the money, then we can start talking about making offers, right? And like getting other shoes on the shelf, right? Like make an offer every day. It sounds great. It sounds really like a cool strategy to do, but like, what's your game plan if they accept the offer? You're going to have to go build it. And like, how's that going to work? You're going to run ads and probably lose money on it, or they're not going to be happy.
We have to run ads.
Yeah, it's just like, I think just take it home, baby. You got this. And look, you're not that far from me. I'm in Austin. You're in Dallas. I know that we've been kind of like talking back and forth for a couple of years. If you need my help on one of these, like, let's get on a call together. If you want help closing one of these, I'll help you. We can record it and maybe we can play it back in the group, but let's get you to the spot because you're right on. You've done the work. This is the type of people that I love. You've put in the reps, you put in the hours. Like, you just need a little bit of push to get this stuff there. And I think honestly, you could be 3 months away from having 20K a month.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know what state your stuff's in.
I need to take a trip up there too, Graham. If I come up there in the next couple of weeks, I'll hit you up. We'll have some lunch or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, man. All right. Well, we're at the 2-hour mark. I'm excited for you, man. I know that we like pushed this one and we kind of dove deep. Do you know what you have to do now, Joseph?
Get these sites ranked.
Are you ready to crush this thing, man?
Yeah, I want to.
Well, let's do it. Let's not. I want to. I am. I'm going to crush this thing, man. Let's change that mindset of like, this is what's happening. Almost like it's already happened. Like, right. And you need to start like, don't let these guys like talk you down from like, this is what it's worth. This is what it's worth. Hey, if it doesn't work for you, fine. Or I'll pull off a piece of this. I'll give you one of these for this amount. But it's just like, it's worth too much for me to just give this away like this. You have a way to establish what it's worth, man. Like, once you have, here's the thing, man, is like, once you have 20 of these clients or 30 of these clients, when one of these people tries to tell you that, like, I'm only willing to pay this, you can say, okay, you're not the client for me, get out of here. And then what you're going to see is they're going to come like, okay, I'll pay that. It's cool. It's cool. It's hard to do that when you have 4 clients. So this thing picks up a lot of momentum. When you lose that, like Harry said, you're like grabbing for these different things. When they pick up on that, like, that's where they have that attitude. I noticed that used to happen a lot for me the first couple of years. And then I had this shift and now I'm like coming in and I'll talk to them like, just like I do here. I mean, Jeff's heard this same conversation. Like, this is what it's worth. If this doesn't work for you, that's totally cool. But this is what we're looking for. I'm not like groveling with them and like, oh, okay. Like, I'm really like, no, this is what it is. Take it or leave it. You know, when you do that, you're going to start closing easier. You're going to close for more, but it's hard to do that. That's a double-edged sword. Once you get to the spot where you don't need it, then it gets a lot easier. Right. So, all right, let's hop off here. Is there anybody else got any final questions? Good stuff, Joseph, man. Thank you for like sharing. Thank you for kind of being vulnerable and being honest and open and let's hit me up, man. Let's spend a little time. I'm going to help you get there. Okay. So if you need a little bit off this, I got you. I'll spend some time with you and we'll try to find a way to get through this.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, Graham, is thanking you for putting yourself out there like that. So we appreciate it. I mean, that's how we all learn. So yeah, really appreciate you.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, this was so good. This was such a good live stream. I just want to say, like, Joseph, man, you got the skills, dude. You just need to switch your mindset up. Go get in jiu-jitsu. Go get to a boxing ring and just totally switch your whole mind up, man. Get in there. Get after the fight.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark.
Get in the ring, Joseph. Start swinging and win that round. Okay.
That's right, baby. You got this thing, man. You've got a lot of support in here, man. I think that I think a lot of people that are on this call are envious of your situation of where you're at now because you've put in this time. You just got to like, you've drove to the finish line. You just got to cross it now, man. I think we're going to see some big things from you. I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but any other questions or comments before we hop off here?
Yeah, I just want to thank Joseph for sharing everything he did. Good work, man.
If anybody is up for spotlight next week, hit me up.
Yeah, we got any volunteers?
I haven't seen one yet, but one of them will come.
That's what happens when you dig deep, huh?
Oh, I saw Mr. Singh, or is that? I'm sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but I see his hand up in the air. I don't know. Is that a question or is that a volunteer?
I don't see it. Where are you looking, Dave?
Mr. Singh over there. Mr. Singh. How do you pronounce your first name, Mr. Singh?
Oh, is that Puneet?
Yes, this is Puneet Singh.
Puneet.
Yeah.
But I didn't butcher it too bad, so thanks.
Yeah, I want to volunteer myself for the spotlight next week.
Okay. Yeah, we got you. I know I was talking to you last night, right?
Yes, Patrick, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Give me some pointers.
I know that you're considering signing up for Lead Generated. You don't have a membership yet. You're kind of on the fence. I think based on what you told me, it may make sense just to wait until we get some GMBs in place before you sign up for that subscription. But it could be good for the due diligence part. But I think, just hold off and put your focus towards getting those GMBs. We'll spotlight you next week. So just kind of like be ready to share, maybe have, if you want to have any kind of spreadsheets or anything like that prepared so that we can, you don't need to put any of the personal information in there. You can say, hey, I've got these different niches and this amount of sites or whatever, just so that we can kind of look through it. But I look forward to it, man. Tell me the pronunciation of your name again.
Puneet.
Puneet. Okay.
Sing. Last name is easier. Sing a song.
Sing. I
Sing.
know sing because I've got a lot of people that
Right.
that's a common name. Are you
That's
Indian?
correct. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hey,
All right.
If it's okay, Patrick, I'd like to say to Puneet that look, you get everything shipped up, shaped right, and with this particular platform, you cannot go wrong.
Yeah,
Appreciate
I like that when I looked into the lead generated videos, and my background is IT, so of course I love software, kind of see
Yeah.
what it does. Automation is what I consult to my clients, but of course on the enterprise side, so I see of course the value of it, but I just want to get brains from all of you and Patrick, especially just to make sure I find the right time for this investment and kind of, I mean, you know my status and go from there.
Like I said, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, yeah, good to
All
know.
right, guys. Thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. Let's have another great week. I would love to hear some big wins. I can't wait. I challenge Joseph. I'd love to have a big win from you next week, man, with some of the stuff that we talked about, even if it's like, hey, I've done this, or, you know, I've got this guy going to 3K now, or I've got these people on a trial, right? So I'd love to hear that next week, but I want to hear wins from you guys. So we have 7 days before our next call. Let's take the actions that are necessary that we can share that win next week. Okay, let's end that with the thought with that. Joseph, one of the mantras I live by: you get what you tolerate. Don't let these guys run you over, man. You got this stuff. Great call, guys. We'll see you in the group. Have a good week.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Adios, amigos.
Bye.